Never in recorded history has the phrase swing and a miss been more appropriate. You may know the news by now. You've seen the title. You've seen the lovely thumbnail. I think Owen made the thumbnail.
Owen made the thumbnail for the first one.
Owen did the thumbnail.
It's beautiful.
Thank you, Owen. Cesaro has left the WWE. Flippin' heck.
Mental. Can't believe it.
So Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, broke the news last night saying Cesaro has quietly exited WWE after his current contract expired. His last performance was on the 11th of February on SmackDown, losing to Happy Corbin. He hasn't won a match for months anyway, and we'll get to sort of reasons why in a moment. So some news came out last night about this, and then Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful has been in contact with a few other sources that give a few more details in and around it. Fightful saying as far back as October, Cesaro had mentioned to members of the roster that his deal was coming up in February, wasn't sure if he would be hanging around. There were several that we spoke to that were surprised he got a 1-year extension as opposed to the standard re-signing length. In terms of the real reasons behind it, you'll be shocked to hear the real reason is just disappointment. Disappointment from Cesaro. They went after the news broke. Fightful spoke to sources within WWE who said the immediate reaction from those in the company was disappointment and dismay. Cesaro also feeling disappointed. Reasonable disappointment is the quote, which is really polite.
It is. He throughout this whole thing, it seems as though he is being just an absolute professional when it comes to all this. And I think he is well within his right to feel reasonable disappointment with how he was booked on WWE TV.
And that reasonable disappointment is on how he was used, things he was left off of, and spots that he didn't fill. WWE sources that we heard back from, as Andrew just said there, spoke highly of Cesaro's professionalism in handling his last match and finishing up with the company. Another said that until he ends up elsewhere, there's always the possibility that he could resign. The door isn't completely closed, the bridge is not completely burnt. In terms of whether or not this is likely, so what we've gleaned over the last few hours is that WWE have been going back and forth. Oh, he's entering. That's his entrance theme.
He's here.
Love that. What we've gleaned from it is that Cesaro and WWE did not want to part with Cesaro.
Yes.
They wanted to keep him on the books.
Yeah.
They made numerous offers towards Cesaro, and Cesaro essentially went, nah, I don't like the look of any of these. WWE turned around and said, okay, well, can we offer you a contract extension whilst we continue to work this out? And he just went, nah.
Absolute good on him. Fair play to him as well. There's so many times WWE could have pulled the trigger, especially in recent years as well. 2021 felt like it could have been the year of Cesaro. We had him in the Elimination Chamber. Felt like, oh my God, there's a chance that he could do this and go on to WrestleMania to headline, and unfortunately not. He still had one of the best matches at WrestleMania with Seth Rollins though. Like, he's the complete package. I don't know why I'm surprised, because as we've said multiple times, it's WWE, and sometimes it does feel like they let go of something that they don't necessarily know what they had. You know what I mean? Like, they've got something special in someone, and stuff just doesn't come to fruition with them. But Cesaro, throughout the whole entire that run, especially in 2021, felt good, felt special, and felt like something that really could have been capitalised on, and unfortunately just wasn't.
It's as the song goes, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise and put up a performance centre. So in terms of what he was going to get up to next, and so there's plans for SmackDown that were scrapped, or sort of lack of plans that were in place for SmackDown. PW Insider saying Cesaro had been slated to be at SmackDown tonight in Hershey, Pennsylvania. No longer he will be there because his deal has expired, so he won't be there tonight. Fightful say there were plans to use Cesaro on upcoming shows. No longer the case. We were told at the time of departure there had been no long-term creative plans for Cesaro, and that unless a new deal was reached, that would remain the case. Cesaro's lost the last 7 televised matches, dating all the way back to November, and we were told there's no indication he was going to re-sign, and therefore there was no incentive to push him. Now, this is similar to what happened the last time when he signed that 1-year extension.
Yeah.
They pulled him from a gauntlet match on SmackDown because they were like, well, he hasn't signed yet. And do you know what? This is the bit that just... It drives me radio rental about the whole system here, where WWE on now on occasions have gone, okay, well, you haven't signed anything, so we're not going to commit to you. Okay, you've signed. We're not going to commit to you. Now, there is many reasons and certain details as to why it didn't work out in WWE. Check out a video a little later today where we'll be breaking down where WWE went wrong with Cesaro.
I'm looking forward to that one, Tom. I like your pieces to camera. They're always very informative.
I like your face.
Oh, well, that's nice.
It's a good face. Where do you see Cesaro's face next, Andrew?
Oh, that's a very good question. Now, as we've seen Eddie Kingston sort of popping up there on the twits, he's been saying, all I'm going to say is he doesn't have the balls to come to AEW, and that's Cesaro and Kingston. They feuded between 2009, 2011 in Shikara. Whether this is, maybe a hint as to where he's going, maybe AEW got something there. I'd like to see him and Chris Hero team up again. I think that would be awesome to see. As we were talking about with Buddy Matthews yesterday, I was like, bloody hell, New Japan Pro Wrestling would be very good for Cesaro. We've seen him in Noah before as well, so why not New Japan now?
It's a great, I like the New Japan idea. I like the idea of him and Chris Hero finding each other again. Of course, Ring of Honor are doing the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And they're planning a comeback. What's to say Heroes of Wrestling comeback wouldn't be on the cards or something like that. But here's the thing I'm thinking, and we're gonna get to a little bit of reaction from WWE in a moment. But here's what I'm thinking in terms of what happens next. Now, I know I completely agree with the sentiment. There's too many wrestlers in AEW.
Yes, there
is too many. You've got to stop buying toys, Tony, because you've got no room left on the shelf. But I know it. If it was anybody else, I was saying this upstairs this morning. If it was anybody else that we were talking about this morning, I wouldn't think like this. But Tony Khan, being not only a very rich man, but also a wrestling fan, a purveyor of wrestling forums. Cesaro has just been released. There is, according to Fightful, because it's a release, there is no no-compete clause. So Cesaro is free to turn up as and where, whenever, wherever, to quote Shakira. Small and humble Shakira. Next weekend, they're doing the Face of the Revolution ladder match. They are. In which you have to grab a brass ring. Knowing what we know about Vince McMahon's feeling, sentiment towards brass rings and Cesaro, do you think Tony Khan could hold off from creating the moment where they bring in Cesaro to literally grab a brass ring?
This is so difficult, because I genuinely thought, as we were talking about yesterday, I was like, ooh, Shane Strickland could be the man to fill the gap. But now, so if there's any person just the perfect fit for that, it would be Cesaro.
I don't know if it's the perfect fit per se, but I'm just jumping into the energy drink powered hive mind of Tony Khan, who I think must be sat this morning going, we can have him grab a brass ring next weekend. And I don't know whether Tony Khan can resist that idea.
That's the problem. He has to capitalise on that afterwards, though. Because you get there's the initial thing.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. We've done the thing now. That's it. It needs to be capitalised on if that does happen.
WWE Backstage reacting, saying others, the people that Fightful spoke to said they'd said their goodbyes, and there was a lot of disappointment and dismay behind the scenes. Natalia tweeting, "Thank you for being there for us through the brightest of times, the darkest of times. We'll never forget it, Claudio. A true friend for life." And there's a lovely picture of her Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. They were a great tag team.
They were such a good tag team.
Seth Rollins shared a gif of the hands-free airplane spin from that match at WrestleMania.
Insane.
Excellent stuff. And this was in there in the top 10 anime deaths. This was Austin Creed sharing a photo of himself, Adam Cole, Tyler Breeze, and Cesaro playing Uno.
Oh my God. They were so good all together. They were all so good together.
One day, maybe they'll be together.
Or maybe they will.
But as you say, keep an eye on Eddie Kingston's tweet. All I'm going to say is he doesn't have the balls to come to AEW. Tony's thinking about it. More on this story as we get news throughout the day. Our lead story today, Cesaro done with WWE and could turn up anywhere and anywhere else very, very soon. More throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Keys.
Love you, bye.